So yeah, I'm back in here today because I haven't been on for a few days. I think everybody knows what's going on with me at this point. Yeah, so I've kind of been focusing on that, and I've just noticed there's a little number 11 there, and I'm going to start off with that one, just because I've noticed it. I can't believe I didn't notice it before. Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. Right, that's that one. So yeah, I've taken a couple of days for myself. I'll be honest, I've kind of gone through a bit of a bout of insomnia. Don't know why, but I'm getting back on track slowly but surely. Hey, Blue, how you doing, buddy? Lovely to see you in here, matey. How's things? Yeah, so I've just been kind of concentrating on me a little bit. And yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now. But as I've said on millions of occasions, this is for my granddaughter's birthday, so I don't really have the luxury of waiting too long. Where was I doing here? We're just going to see how far this goes, how much we can get done. And yeah, at least have some form of a productive day. Yesterday was it was a bittersweet thing yesterday, really. Good, I'm glad to hear it, buddy. I'm glad you're doing okay. Yesterday, I spent the entire day downstairs with my granddaughter and my wife. I completely unplugged from all types of electronic media, and it was just nice. Sat and had a laugh with my granddaughter. I watched some TV with her and stuff downstairs in the front room, and I've got to be honest with you, I was down there for hours and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so nice. It's like I haven't been sleeping great myself. I think too much light comes through my curtains in the morning. Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest with you, mate, I'm not going to comment at the moment until I've just had my tests done. Okay, so I don't know if you know this or not, but I've just had a blood test, and I'm currently doing a 24-hour urine test for a cortisol check, right? Because when you have anxiety and depression and panic attacks and stuff, from what I'm led to believe, that your body sits in a fight or flight all the time, right? From what I'm led to believe. Now, what happens is that means that your body is literally just using every resource it can to keep that going, because it's constantly trying to keep you safe, right? Well, that means that your cortisol levels don't ever rise. A normal person's cortisol levels, right, they are very high in the morning, which is what wakes you up, right? I don't know what you know about this, I'm just going to explain it. But they're very high in the mornings, and that's what wakes you up. But then when you go through the day, right, that cortisol level just goes down and down and down, right, until such time in the day where it reaches a certain level, right, where it then starts to say to the melatonin receptors, right, we're getting near bedtime now, it's time to shut this show down, we need to go to sleep soon. Hence the reason why you get tired at night and awake first thing in the morning. Well, the problem is that if you're constantly depressed and down, or you're in fight or flight mode, and that doesn't necessarily have to be that you're having full-blown panic attacks all the time. If you're in this mode, right, your cortisol levels never go up, right? When you're asleep, they go up a bit in the morning, throughout the night, but not a lot, not enough to sustain you throughout the day. So apparently this blood test I'm having done now, I had to mark the time of when I went to the toilet for the first time today, and you don't collect the first sample. You do that, flush it away in the normal means. But now, anytime I need to go to the bathroom, I have to save it. And then tomorrow, at exactly the same time, that's when it stops. And then I send it into them, and then they can check my cortisol levels. And if it turns out that my cortisol levels are too low, or they're not working properly, then there is something that they can do about that. Because I just spent the last 4 nights with almost 5 hours sleep for the whole 4 nights. So that's kind of why I haven't been on and doing anything, because it was getting to the point of where I couldn't function. I could barely speak properly. But, you know, all I'm hoping is that all of these tests that I'm doing, I'm lucky because my doctor is such a fantastic bloke, right? And I said to him, like, my exact words were, I said, I'm sorry to be a Google doctor. And I said, but I found something else I'd like to be tested for. And he said, never apologise for being a Google doctor. He said, you're in so much distress right now. You're just trying to get better. So he said, go on, just hit me with it. And then when I said about the cortisol test, and I said, it's not a standardised test. It's not something that you would give out, you know. And he said, no, he said, it's actually not. He said, but coming to think about it, he said, that isn't a bad idea. So he put me forward for it. And for all I know, this could come back completely clear, which, you know, nobody wants anything wrong with them. And I don't want anything wrong with me. But I've been suffering like this now for so long that I'm kind of looking at it now that if they find something that is, fingers crossed, completely curable, or there is medication out there to get me better, then I'm going to get my life back. So that's not hypochondria of wanting stuff or thinking that you have stuff. I am trying my hardest to go through the process of elimination to find out what's wrong, because clearly there is something wrong. But yeah, so what I will do is I will report back to you guys and let you know exactly what the results were on what they said. And if it turns out to be something, then I will let you all know, and I'll also let you know what I'm going to do and what they're going to do. We're going to take it from there. Just on a quick note, this is to everybody out there that may be watching this or listening to it. I've said this a couple of times, but everybody kind of says to me that don't keep broadcasting your personal life and whatever else, because you'll put yourself up for attack later on. Well, I have to be honest. If there is anybody out there that is suffering in the same way that I am, right, I'm prepared to take the consequences of my actions in the hopes that this might help somebody else. So that's why I'm being completely honest with you. I'm not doing it for a medal. I'm not doing it for praise. I'm not doing it for any other reason than to just help somebody else. And the reason that I want to do that is because I feel so helpless. I feel so ill, down, depressed, and have so many issues that I just want to get my life back. And if I help just one person, as far as I'm concerned, that could be what I was put here to do. You know, I don't think there's any people in this community that would attack you in any way. No, I don't believe you would. I'm glad you got a good doctor. Yeah, me too. Me too. No, and I know there's nobody in this community, but don't forget I also upload my stuff to YouTube, and you know, any random people can come on and watch, and I encourage and want them to, you know. I just want to make this clear that I don't make any money from my YouTube content. I don't make any money from my Twitch content either. I do this literally for company. So if anybody's sort of sitting there thinking, oh, I'm not going to hit the like button, or I'm not going to hit the subscribe button because it's just going to make this person famous or give them loads of money, it's not. I get nothing from this. I'm not affiliated with Twitch, and I don't have any kind of affiliation with YouTube. I just do this for fun. Yeah, so that's kind of the reason why I'm just sort of saying it. You know, I'm not trying to make anything off of other people suffering. I think there's enough people out there that do that on a daily basis. So it would just be nice for just one person in this life to actually do something that isn't going to make them loads of money. Or you know what I'm trying to say. I'm not doing it for that. I've suffered so badly over the last couple of years that I don't want anybody else to feel what I'm feeling or going through what I'm going through. If there's some kind of help that is out there, then that's why I do it. So yeah. But I wasn't going to stream today because last night I actually did manage to get a night's sleep. I actually doubled up on my medication, which is silly, I know, but I took my own risk. The stuff that I take is almost herbal, and it's legal, so don't anybody jump to conclusions. But yeah, I was getting to the point where I just couldn't function throughout the day, and then of course today now I'm very tired, as you can imagine, because I've got some sleep. It's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But it's okay. Right, I know you couldn't see me doing that bit over there too much, but yeah, that bit needed to be done. So I was going to do... See, number 4 is going to... Oh, by the way, you know when I kept on saying I'm going to run out of number 4? Well, attached to the number 19, which is just here, is a big old pot of number 4. Thank you, buddy. I'm loving it. I think this is probably one of the best ones that I've done to date. And I know I said that about my dinosaur painting, but that was for different reasons. That was because I never choose those colours. And I just think that's come out so well. And my granddaughter loves it. So, but this one, like, I'm particularly proud, and I like this piece down here, right? Where you've got like these subtle branches and leaves coming in, which are black. And from a distance, it looks so effective. And I can honestly turn around and say I've enjoyed every brushstroke. Even the ones where I've been sat here in pain, you know? I've just really enjoyed it. And it's been kind of nice because, like, I told you guys when I did my very first paint by numbers, it's probably got more tears on it than paint, which is true. And whenever I look at that, I get inspiration from it, because even though that was my darkest time, when I was going through the worst, I still created that. But that seems to be the memory that just sort of sticks with it, you know? Whereas all of my other paintings, I just think about, I think that I wasn't very well, but I still managed to do it. But I kind of more focus on the painting itself, if that makes any sense, rather than how I felt at the time. I don't know, maybe I'm just talking out here, dude. Who knows? But yeah, I haven't posted a YouTube video for... Oh, I'm going to put my hand in. No, well, that's all. It's nothing I can't put right. Because I just haven't felt well enough to. But they are currently encoding as we speak. 6 of them, so they will be incoming soon. And today I'm on here doing this one, and I will also get this lot encoded today, and I will put them up on a schedule So yeah, I literally just slipped with my hand there, but that shouldn't be a problem to put right. I'm kind of working at a bit of a distance here, and the reason I'm working this far out is because it's a number 4, and I always seem to miss where it finishes. So I should learn again to just be quiet when I'm over this side, because I'm very close to the microphone. So I apologise if I'm blowing out people's eardrums. It's not my intention. Anyway, what you got planned for today, Blue? I would imagine you're going to be going to bed soon, right? How are the cats doing? You're actually quieter then. Oh, okay. Started playing my VR again today. Nice. I want to do that. I've just got. What's nice is that the games that I've got on my VR headset, whilst I'm not playing them, they're all getting major updates, and I feel like when I jump back into them, they're just going to be so much more polished. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I've been playing State of Decay 2 to keep myself busy, which I've been really enjoying. I completed the game years ago when it first came out, because I do like State of Decay games, so I think they're really good. But I completed it, and then I never really went back and played it again. But I didn't realise that the object really is to play it to get the different leaders. Then once you have the different leaders, then you go and tackle the game on its like hardest level with the perks that you've got by completing the game the other 4 times. And I decided I'm going to do that. Cats are very nice. Sometimes they're very cute. Yeah, I get you. I really would like to get a cat, but I have a lot of leather furniture in my house, and I can't guarantee that they're not going to destroy it. And unfortunately, as I've said on many occasions, I'm not a rich man. So it's not like I can keep affording to get somebody to come out to try and repair it. So unfortunately, the cat's going to be a bit of a no-go, and I refuse to just lock it in a particular room just for my not pleasure, but you get what I mean, just for my purposes. That's not fair. Animals shouldn't be kept prisoner. And I don't consider that them having free run of a house is a prison.
The scope of my genius knows no bounds!
Lord Creed! I was thinking about you the other night while I was on the toilet. How you doing, buddy? I haven't seen you in ages. How you been keeping? And there's that beautiful missus of yours, who's clearly only with you to get to me. I don't blame you. Oh, Plants vs Zombies. Awesome. I've been playing. Oh, my boy's just been playing Counter-Strike 2. He says it's great. Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare 2, Blazing Swords 2, Rocket League. And I played Halo this morning too. Nice! Touching yourself in the toilet. Yeah, it's frowned upon. Well, you know. I mean, there are plenty of things in this life that are frowned upon, right? Doesn't necessarily even make them right or wrong. That's the way I look at it. But what have you been up to? I'm having to paint so much slower now because I'm having to do this so far away from me. Because I was trying not to aggravate my back today. So I'm kind of sitting back at a bigger distance, but I have a lot less control with the paintbrush. And I figured if I could learn how to overcome that just by, constantly keep doing it, maybe this could be a temporary solution to my comfort issue. Because it ain't going away anytime soon. How's the server coming along? I've not been back in there. I haven't really been back on doing anything, as you know. That doesn't mean to say that I wish it any ill will. It's all right. Gets 30 to 40. Nice. 30 to 40 people. That's really good going. Really good going. Even though you're in there as well. It's really weird. Is this, you took a major step back, as you know. I mainly just played to see my friends, honestly. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully we can have a catch up at some point. Maybe today or something. I don't know. Yeah, this paint's gone a little thin in some places. It's a bit runnier. But like I said, I feel like that this paint, it doesn't matter if it's a little thin. I think it's all going to add to the effect of it being like a magical forest. Just go around here. A bit done. The current staff is pretty biased against Crims, so they're having a hard time growing that side. Yeah, well, that's the problem. You know, like it goes either one way or the other. But what will happen next? And it's not like I've got crystal balls, I've got hairy ones. But what's going to happen next is that criminals are going to turn around and say, "F this place, I'm out," right? And then, in a desperation move to keep the numbers in the city, what's going to happen is they're going to be pandered to, and then you're going to have the issue where cops are not going to want to come in no more because it's all going to be focused on the criminal side of things. And this is where you have a problem. Do you run a community server, or do you run your version of a community server? Because the problem is, just like in government, it should be the easiest side to grow. Yes, it should. Yeah, absolutely. But just like in the government, you can't keep everyone happy. So then you have to choose the path of, and it's usually the most resistance that yields the best results. You try and make it so that everything, and you already know this, I'm not teaching you how to suck eggs, but you try and make it so that you reach a compromise that everybody is willing to accept. And the people that aren't willing to accept it can just go and find a different server. But it's a scary time, especially if you own a server and you're paying for it. And, you know, people stop their Patreons and people stop buying their one-of-ones and stuff. And then all of a sudden, it's all coming out of your pocket all the time and it gets a little bit scary. But he who has the balls usually makes more money. They'll get there, I guess. I feel like one day when I'm better, I think I'm going to have a stab at making my own GTA server. So that instead of being ignored in what I say, I can just do it and see it. I'd be very interested to see whether or not it would be a success or a failure. Because in my head, I'm one of the most reasonable people I know, and I never do anything to kind of further myself without caring about anybody else. Of course, I want to further myself. I'm not stupid. But my thing all the way along has always been, besides me, I'm a lot more reasonable. Well, I wouldn't say any more reasonable. No, but you are a reasonable person. You stick by what you believe in, which is nice, and what you believe in it based on lots of research and lots of common sense. I feel like I need a shower now. That feels like a compliment towards you. Did that make you as uncomfortable as it made me? Because, like, ooh. Ah, a nice cup of coffee. It was pointed out to me that I drink a lot of coffee. And then it was pointed out to me that maybe that's the reason why you can't sleep, because you're always going on about coffee this, coffee that, coffee this. I've never really felt the need to say this, but I will do. My very first cup of coffee in the morning is a caffeinated one. Every other cup of coffee that I have throughout the day is decaffeinated. A lot more reasonable. Yeah, well, we'll just have to wait and see. It's taking its time to get on here. Blake, I could never do decaf. I don't really drink coffee anymore. Well, the problem is that, like, everyone's got their own opinion on it, and it's always diametrically opposed. You've got scientists and whatever turn around and say, "Oh, coffee's really bad for you. Don't drink it." And now all of a sudden, it's like, actually, no, coffee is good for you in moderation. And it's like, there is so much disinformation out there, right? Which I believe, not being a conspiracy theorist, but which I believe is purposeful, so that we've got no idea of what's right or wrong. But the truth is out there. You've got no hope of finding it. Well, you find it, sorry, but you have no way of believing it or not believing it. I guess sometimes you just got to take that leap of faith. Yeah.